Remember, 03700 100 110. We're talking asthma. It affects thousands of people in Wales. Maybe you're one of them. What impact does the condition have on you and your family? You can text the show 81012 and email jason@bbc.co.uk. Right, Julie is in Bridgend. Her son Geraint suffered a near-fatal asthma attack when he was just 11. Julie, a very good morning to you. Thank you for joining us.
Morning, Jason. Morning.
Thank you so much for joining us. And I know this isn't going to be easy for you at all. I don't think it's going to be easy for my listeners either. But just take us back, Julie, if you can.
Yeah, okay. So Geraint was roughly 2 when we suspected he had asthma. He had problems breathing. He was in and out of hospital quite frequently. When he was actually able to do a peak flow test, then he was properly diagnosed with asthma. So he've had it all his life. Up until the age of 6, he was very ill, in and out of hospital quite frequently, 2 or 3 times a year. Breathing problems, going blue on times. None of his asthma pumps seemed to do a lot for him. And then from the age of 6 to 11, nothing. I mean, he was well controlled. He took his preventers every day, took his Ventolin when he needed it, and he was well controlled. The day it happened, nothing out of the blue. He'd had a slight cold, but nothing that I was too concerned about. And he came home from school. He phoned me from school to say that he was unable to breathe. I went to pick him up. Cut the long story short, we took him into hospital. He didn't respond to any treatment whatsoever. All the treatment he had before just didn't do anything for him at all. They decided to take him and intubate him a few hours later, and sadly he arrested while he was being intubated, and it's left him with severe hypoxic brain injury.
Oh, goodness me.
He died for 14 minutes, and they were working on him all that time. So yeah, asthma is very very raw with us. I'm still petrified of it with him. I mean, to see him that night, the night he was admitted to hospital, I mean, he was so scared. You know, I think he almost knew he was going to die. He was petrified.
Oh, goodness me.
And as a parent, to watch that, you know, is so, you know, it's something you never forget. You're so helpless, you're so frustrated, there's nothing at all you can do. And the amount of people we speak to now, and you know, we say, oh, you know, what happened to Geraint? And we say an asthma attack. And, you know, there's not one person I've come across that have said, sorry, there's not one person I've come across that have said to me, yeah, I understand that asthma can do that. You know, everybody is like, asthma, you know, you've had an asthma attack, that's what caused it.
No, absolutely, I can understand that, because I was saying earlier, I think one of the reasons why this is just a powerful phone in today is because most people, I would suggest, like you're saying, Julie, would say, oh, I thought it affected children. I thought as long as you had the pumps, it would be fine. Yeah. But your boy, how old is Geraint now?
He's 19 now, yeah. And, I mean, the amount of people who even say to us now is, so does Geraint still suffer with asthma? And yes, the asthma doesn't go away just because he had that main asthma attack that has left him like he is. You know, yeah, he's in respiratory failure. He still has asthma attacks. It's still, his lungs are getting weaker by the day. Every infection he has, you know, his asthma just deteriorates. His lungs are just so deteriorated that they're barely working. And, you know, it's getting it over to people of the seriousness of making sure you take your preventer every day. You know, we got to this stage where Geraint was 11. He started going to comprehensive school. You tend to think, right, okay, let's give him a little bit of responsibility and let him take his own medication. And I think that was the biggest mistake I ever done, because whereas when he was younger, I made sure he was taking his preventer. As he was getting older, I was giving him that bit of responsibility, and he was telling me he was taking it, and I honestly don't think he did. You know, I think it was probably a case of, go and clean your teeth, and they'll come back and say they've cleaned their teeth.
Yeah.
You still need to be vigilant. You still need to be watching them. I've had parents talk to me and their children are, grown up, and they're saying they don't take their preventer, and it just frightens me, because you've got to take your preventer, and if that preventer is not working, if you're still having asthma attacks and still having to use your Ventolin regularly, you're not on the right preventer. You need to be speaking to your GP or your specialist. You need to get our help to make sure that you're on the right preventer. It's no good just taking a preventer and thinking it's working, and you're still having the asthma attacks.
Yeah.
You need to be on the right one.
Can I just ask you, Julie, because no doubt many people will be asking how Geraint is and how the family are, and you're doing so well by coming on the radio and speaking, and this can't be easy for you at all. But how are you? How do you cope with what you've been through and your ordeal?
Taking each day as it comes, really. It has affected the family majorly, to the point where, a lot of stress in the beginning put rifts between us, and we don't speak to some of the family. Some of the family think that because we're 8-9 years on, it isn't as painful now as it was then, where in fact it's more painful. It's affected his sister, the nurse. It's affected her big time. She suffers with mental problems. It's in milestones. When he was 18, his sister got upset. She should be taking him out for his first legal drink. His dad goes fishing to Norway. It was always his dream to take to Norway fishing. It's affected us. You can't even the scale of how it's affected us as a whole family, not just immediate family, a whole family.
Yeah.
Is just.
But I know your husband runs marathons to raise money. He's amazing. I was looking at some pictures of him earlier on, and he's raising so much money. Yeah,
we've there's a couple of charities that are very close to our heart that we've obviously supported over the years. And we could continue to support them. I mean, I think talking about Geraint and being able to raise awareness definitely helps. Like I say, he's deteriorating, rapidly at the moment. And people just I don't think they take asthma serious. It's just a word. It's just, I got asthma, If we can just save one person by doing what I'm doing today, for them to realise that it is serious, get the help you need. Go to frequent. I mean, I used to work in a doctor's surgery, and people used to, complain about having their medication put on hold because they needed to see the nurse. You're seeing that asthma nurse for a particular reason, because if you're not on the right medication, you can be put on it before it gets to the stage that Geraint was on. I mean, we didn't have any support. When he was given an asthma pump, we were just given the asthma pump, we weren't shown how to use it. It was, that's how it is. You're just given the medication and told to go away. I mean, Asthma UK, we worked quite closely with them for a few months with Geraint and done a few stories with them. And they are an amazing charity. If you have been diagnosed with asthma, or you've had asthma for a long time, if you need any information, any help, any advice, go to Asthma UK. They're one of the leading charities with asthma, and they're just absolutely amazing. They've got so much information there, how to use a spacer device. A lot of people are not aware that if you use a spacer device, which is a device with a mask on the end, that you put your medication in the other end, it works better because it goes straight into the lungs. Whereas if you just put an asthma pump into your mouth and squirt it, most of it's caught in the roof of your mouth, the back of your throat. It's not going directly into your lungs. And I think people are not aware of these little gadgets that are out there that could be potentially life-saving.
Well, listen, Julie, thank you so much for being so brave and speaking so eloquently about your story live on the radio today. It's not easy. I'm very grateful. Thank you very much indeed. But your story may well have helped someone this morning. Thank you so much. That's Julie in Bridgend. Her son Geraint suffered a near fatal asthma attack when he was just 11 years old. And thank you so much. And I wish you all the very best, and sending love and wishes to all your family. Thank you very much indeed. 9:45.